Next is Malaysia, Professor Hazami Habib.
Thank you. Can I have my slide, please? Okay. Oh, this is the old version. It's okay. So for Malaysia, we have done this SWOT analysis. For strength, what we have is most important to run any agenda, you need the 3M. Mandate, manpower, money. Without that, we cannot move. And the most important thing is leadership. So what we have is mandate. We really use our act because it is passed as a law in the parliament. So we took it as a mandate. So no ministry will question us because it's by law. Our core business is giving advice. Our core business is giving solutions. So we really claim the space and we do that. Then we would like to be brand not as a think tank, but to be brand as a thought leader. When we say thought leader, it is a collective wisdom of all experts. And when it approved by the academy, it become a stand of the academy from the expert network that we have in the academy. So how we position ourselves as a strategic partner to the ministry, and we brand ourselves as a thought leader in science, technology, innovation, and economy. As an example, as a trusted thought leader, we are appointed as a joint secretariat for National Science Council. So we can orchestrate what are strategic papers to be presented at the National Science Council. So this afternoon, I will share with you more detail on this. Next is all our papers or recommendation, policy and strategy, it has to be evidence-based and not react upon sentiment. We get a lot of requests from politicians, from media, what is your view on certain sensitive issue. But if we don't have evidence, we will not make any statement. That is the way that we remain independent and very objective in giving our advice. So that is another thing. Then we managed to institutionalize science advisors role. Previously, in 2000, when I joined Academy in 1996, our fourth Prime Minister, for the first time, create a post of science advisor, but it is political appointee. That means it is appointed by Prime Minister, handpicked. But last year, throughout the history, the government said, why do we need a political appointee? Because as you see, Malaysia in these 5 years, I have 4 Prime Minister and 4 ministers. That's how fluid it is. Then the ministry said, use your act, bring it to the cabinet. Whoever the president of the academy will automatically become the science advisor. So to me, this is a plus point for academy because we get recognized by the government, and the face of the expert network or the thought leader is the president. The president is the mouthpiece of these expert groups. But behind is supported of the whole fellows of the academy and the organization. Next is we have a strong management team. When I joined the academy, we only have 10 staff. Now we have 110 staff. And we change the role of the staff from secretariat to management. And we change the job or scope of the staff from science officer to analyst. So when we change this designation and the role, and we train our staff to be more savvy on numbers, evidence, analytical, and use all tools, the credibility of packaging all the recommendation coming from the fellows is more savvy towards policymakers. We push away all the jargon, but we put it and package it in the policy words. Then only we see some good response coming from the government. So packaging and branding ideas towards, when you present to minister, you only have 3 minutes. And our report is 500 pages. So how do you get 3 minutes elevator speech for them to understand what we want to advise them to make the change that what we want for the sake of the country? So that is another important strength that need in the academy. Next is open engagement participatory model, where we do a due diligence. when we do any policy recommendation, from T0 when we start, we will bring the reps from the ministry to sit together with us. So the buy-in is there from the T0 rather than when we finish, then we present to them, they will have 1,001 questions. So it will take years. So this is all we learn throughout the process in 28 years in existence of the academy. And last is sustainable financial support from the government. As a statutory body, when we have an act, we are not a non-governmental organization. We are a statutory body. So we have a line of budget in the whole government budget, and every year we will defend the budget as any other agencies. But if we can show that we are giving good advice, good programs, so far, whatever that we are asking, government will support. Even though we have some downturn of economic crisis, so on and so forth, but every year we will get our operating budget from the government. With that, we will not be monopolized by interested parties giving budget to the academy and doing studies or policy based on their needs. So that is how we uphold the independence of our studies. Our weakness is implementation roadblocks and silos. We have 26 ministries. Everybody is looking after their turf. How do we make sure what we recommend really implemented? Now we are in the phase academy giving advice, and the other phase, we are how to do the how. How to do what we recommend. Some of the government officers, they don't know how to do it because it's very complex. When you go on the ground, then you see how complex it is to be implemented. Second weakness is continuous monitoring to uptake and impact of recommendation. How do we monitor what we recommend is really impacting, and how do we maneuver our recommendation to be more agile to the current situation? So that is another weaknesses that we are trying now to have a process in order to monitor it. Next is political uncertainties. This year, my minister is a minister of science and technology. Next year, my minister is from the opposition. How do you maneuver this kind of situation? But for academy, we just give the same advice, no matter who is the government. So with that, even when my former minister is in opposition, we still build up the good relationship, and he can be a good advocate in parliament on science and technology. Next is need for cross-cutting collective wisdom from for inclusive solution. We cannot give our recommendation based on technology-centric because politicians, people, ministries will not understand. So we need to give recommendation that is people-centric, nature-based, and values-driven. Then only they understand and relate to them. If very technology-centric, they will just shut down because we are using all jargons and nobody is understanding it. For opportunities, because we are trusted now in the government after 28 years, it's a long process. It's not easy. And there is ups and downs. But with that, the opportunities is now we have a say and work together with the government to do a systemic change for robust national ecosystem. I will share with you this afternoon how we do this. Then we have a good rapport with all key ministries because the CEO of the academy sits in the post-cabinet meeting every week. So I will have the first hand what's been discussed in the cabinet. I become the informer to the council. Then you have the expert will have the first hand. Oh, now they're having problem on food security. How can science help? If not, we don't have the first hand. And this is the kind of process that we need to be in the system at the same time remain independent. So that is things that we need to strengthen. Next is point of reference. We want ministries when they have problems, when it comes to science, technology, innovation, refer to Academy of Sciences Malaysia. So that's how we build up that rapport. Next is, now we are convincing government to have Science, Technology, Innovation Act to institutionalize all STI governance. Government come and go, but we want the governance of STI intact. We learned this from Korea. Korea 1962, they already have an act. And they review the act more than 20 times. I went to Korea, meet the science advisor of a president, and then how do you do that? And we try to do it organically in Malaysia. Next is, we want to strengthen ecosystem for local technologies, products and services to be adopted by government, industry and society. So we have to uphold, we have a lot of knowledge, research, but how to translate it, and government, the biggest procurement in Malaysia, use the local technology. That is a thing now, opportunity that we are doing slowly with the government. Next is threats. First threat is public perception on science and technology, because sometimes public say science got nothing to do with the problem that I have today. So how do we put that in their mind? How to increase public understanding, and automatically when you have public understanding, you will increase the political will, because politicians will follow the voters. So science communication is very important. So we are strengthening science communication to the public. Second is lack of trust and investment on local technology, product and services. We are talking to our government-linked companies. When you want to procure, please look into the local technologies and services and product. So these are things that we need to increase. These are some threats, because without that, scientists in Malaysia will feel down and there is no uptake in commercialization. So with that, anything that academy recommending, you will not see the impact. And last is how to find the gray area between mission captured by vested interest. This is also being highlighted by the speakers this morning. How do we make sure politicians, policymakers, scientists, public don't use academy to push their personal agenda? So we need a collective wisdom of the committee, council to have a shared mission rather than it's driven by a personal mission. And last threats for Malaysia from academy's perspective is limited STEM talent pool. We want to push emerging technology, but we don't have enough talent. We want to push AI, machine learning. That is all our recommendation to the government. But the threat is now we are depleting talent and brain drain going to other developed country. So I hope these sharings give benefit to you. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Next is Nepal.